What is up, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? So, as you know, this is the last week of Arlington or Arlington 3, and can we just talk about the horrific crash that Jordan Smith had right into the front of the face of that jump? That was I don't know. To me, his arm has to be just destroyed. Uh, I mean, it's not a funny thing, but it is kind of. It's just like, wow. He just, I don't even know what happened there. Cut across the track, hit Mitchell Harrison, and just took both of them out, and just bad things happened. Oh, but the 250s, you had, I don't want to say the same, the usual suspects, but the people who should be up front were up front. You had Cooper get a really good start. You had McAdoo in second. You had Hunter Lawrence in third. Marchbanks and Hammaker. All people who have won races now. Like Hunter Lawrence has won one. Actually, yeah, I think they've all won races. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But Justin Cooper did what Justin Cooper needed to do. It's getting to that midpoint of the 250 season. 3 or 4 races in, 4 or 5. What? Is this 4 races in? 4 or 5? Whatever it is. They're in the mid season of their series, and this is what you need to do as a title fighter, as a title contender, as a person who people see as someone who's going to or could win the title, to get out front, gap the people behind you, put some points on them, get the red plate, and move on, which is what he did. I don't know what more to say. It was pretty boring to watch otherwise. It was just kind of like people running laps. I mean, Cooper got out front. He had no problems, really. McAdoo was running in second. He just didn't have the same speed. I mean, still running ahead of people. You did have Hunter Lawrence jump through hit the fence at the end of the rhythm lane because he just overjumped it and couldn't stop. But, he didn't get hurt or anything. So it wasn't all that big of a deal. He lost some places, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. He went from like 3rd to 5th, so it wasn't horrible. Otherwise, Cooper got out front. McAdoo was 6 seconds back. Hammaker was 13. Swoll 19. Hunter Lawrence because he crashed 25. So it is, otherwise pretty boring night, honestly. But obviously we get into the 450s, the big boys, the main attraction for these things. The big names, the big bikes, the big money. And can we just say what a gut punch it must be to be Ken Roczen right now? Just leading the race for, I don't even want to know, 15 minutes or something like that. And Marvin Musquin got injured, or I don't know what happened to him. He was on the side of the track. I don't remember if they said anything else about it, but, Marvin Musquin being Marvin Musquin, just doing what he does and failing. But you had the guys. You had Roczen out front, Webb second, Barcia third, Tomac fourth off the beginning. There's your 4 big names. There's your title contenders, your top 4 in points, your people who are still might sort of have a chance to get it. I mean, obviously it's pretty much between Roczen and Webb, but Tomac might have a chance. I don't know. Sad to see Chase Sexton go down again in the sand section, and he looked really hurt, or at least really buzzed or dazed. I mean, he didn't get up for a good amount of time. So, sad to see that. Who knows? I don't know what happened with him, but probably, his helmet was missing its visor, so he hit his head somewhere. But, back to the race. Obviously, you had Roczen get the whole shot. And you had Webb, too. It wasn't one of those things, it was just a Roczen and Webb battle, because for a good portion of the race, a good 10 minutes, you had Roczen, a second to less than a second behind Webb, pushing him. It wasn't like he got to ride his own lines, he got to do whatever he wanted without any pressure from behind, but he just rode his race. He kept Tomac behind him, and then with the last 4 or 5 minutes, whatever it was, past Roczen, so he extends his point lead again, which obviously Roczen didn't want. He was leading. That's just the only person he has to beat right now is Cooper Webb, technically, because he's second in points, and that's his only point competitor. But he was 9 points down, leading. I think he's 12 or 13 points. I want to say 12 points down after the fact that Webb caught him and passed him. It's got to be such a mental blow to Ken Roczen, being like, here I am getting out front, getting the whole shot, doing everything I need to do to put the race in, in his terms, and then you just have Cooper Webb just hounding you for 20 minutes. And of course, also Eli Tomac 2 seconds behind. And if you really want to go back to it, Barcia only 4 seconds behind, which Barcia and Tomac ended up having their own little battle because Tomac jumped off the track and hit a tough block, and Barcia took him wide on 2 corners, and doing what Justin Barcia does, just racing hard. But it wasn't dirty. It was just he's just fighting hard for the position, and he made a mistake, and Tomac got by him again. It is what it is. It wasn't a bad race, especially for Barcia being right up with the top 4 guys. Tomac being inconsistent. Tomac, right up there showing speed, but not the overall speed like he normally has. And then you had, again, the 2 guys in the front. Just Roczen looked really, really slow. He was it looked like he was double singling the sand section, which was just not what was needed. And you just had Webb just show what Webb can do. Hang around for 20 minutes in a race, keep right on your rear tire, and just hound you until you make a mistake. And there you go, bam, he's passed and in the first. So good job for Cooper Webb, just doing what he needed to do. Obviously, Ken Roczen is your closest competitor. He's second in points. If obviously you want to beat Tomac and Barcia because that puts more points on them, but they're 20 or 30 points down at this point. The only person you really have to beat is Ken Roczen, and to straight up do it, to get second right out of the box, just be running behind Roczen the whole race, and then pass him, and then gap him too. Put a good 2.5-3 seconds on him. It's just the mental game of now Ken Roczen has to think, wow, he didn't just beat me because he got a better start than me, or because I got hung up, or I fell, or whatever it was. He has to think, he straight up beat me. I got the better hole shot. I was leading the race, and he just caught, or kept up with me, caught and passed, and then gapped him. By the end of the race, it was up to 10 seconds. No, it wasn't 10 seconds. No, sorry. I was looking at something else. It was still 3 seconds is a big gap, considering that's 20 minutes of riding. To put, be right on Roczen's bumper the whole time, and then put 3 seconds on him. It's a big thing for him, I think. But so obviously we have 2 weeks off now, so you won't be seeing these videos for a while, or until the next one, because they're on break. But leave a like down below as you're scrolling by. Comment, subscribe, hit the little bell for a notification, and comment down below. Do you like this season? Do you still think Roczen has a chance? If your weather is good, I don't care. Comment what your bike is, if you like the ketos, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.